Hello Libra, welcome to this reading. My name is Zane and we are going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Libra for the week of June 13th. Now Libra, do keep in mind this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Now I do not offer personal readings. So if you get a message from someone that's not me, that's someone impersonating me, do not get scammed. But let's go ahead and see what we have going on here for you, Libra. I'm using the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot as well as the Spirit Song Tarot. There are links to both of these decks in the description below. I also ask that you hit the like button and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow in a big way and ensures that other people who may need to see these messages have an opportunity to see the messages. All right, let's go ahead and put this up here. And okay, also take 3 of these Spirit Song Tarot cards to clarify as we go along. Put that right there. All right, Libra. So, definitely a time of ending for you, for some of you Libras here. It is interesting though, there's this bittersweet energy that I'm feeling. Okay, the word that I could use to describe this is a feeling of being bittersweet, or a bittersweet feeling here is what I'm getting, because there's clearly a chapter that's either you're in the process of closing out a chapter in your life, but you're also in the process of receiving something new here at this time. And you know, there may be something around rest here. I actually heard the term forced rest. Like sometimes like, you know, maybe you're going really hard at the gym, you're working out a lot, but then you tweak your back or you hurt yourself in some way. And it's like sometimes we're given these periods of sort of like forced rest for a reason. And it's like, obviously you wouldn't want to work through the pain, or you wouldn't want to work through that, right? And it's almost like there's this energy of coming in the future of this new chapter kind of being opened, but it's also, there's going to be this period where you're taking time to heal through something, to rest through something, and we'll talk about it more as we go along. So let's go ahead and just dive right in here. In the overall message, you have the 10 of Swords. So the 10 of Swords is really a card of endings. Okay, you can see that this person's completely done. Okay, there's the energy on this card is the energy of something being completely done. As you can see, the swords are sort of in them. They are kind of laying on the grass, and this represents the closing of one chapter. Okay, the thing is, you know, the 10 of Swords is really just about how you sort of view the world. Because for many people, 10 of Swords, it might be like a doom and gloom, but it's really not. It just says that there's an ending happening in your life, and that ending is probably not recoverable, right? Sometimes things are, how do I say this? Finality is a part of life. And sometimes there are things that come in and out of our lives, and you know, there's sometimes there are chapters that are completely closed in our life. And again, there's probably a reason for that. Just remember though, with this 10 of Swords, it also says that there's new hope on the horizon. Okay, it's like, yeah, there's one thing ending, but there's also like one thing beginning here, especially with these 2 cards in the beginning, or sorry, in the future here. Now, the thing is, in the past, you have these double 5s. You have the Hierophant and which is number 5, and then you also have the 5 of Wands. And you know, 555 is really a number of change. And you can actually see that there's sort of change happening here. I mean, there's really a conflict and a struggle happening here with the 5 of Wands. And you have this with the Hierophant. And so it's almost like there's something that you've been doing in the past year that you are fed up with. Okay, I'm getting this energy here of being fed up. The Hierophant is something that is traditional. This could be your 9 to 5. Okay, the Hierophant can refer to your organization, place that you work, anything like that, especially if you work for like a large corporation or a large organization. These are typically large structures, a group that you're a part of, anything like that. And the Hierophants, it's also like a card of marriage, by the way. So with this Hierophant 5 of Wands, it could mean that there's like maybe a conflict in marriage, or there's conflict in a workplace is kind of what I'm getting here. And whatever it is, there is some type of like unrest, or there's this sort of type of like uneasy feeling here in the past. And so when you think about it that way, isn't it good to put an ending to the uneasy feelings in our lives? Isn't it good to put whatever it is that we're kind of restless about, to let that go? And that's kind of what I feel like saying here. Is there something here that you are restless about, and that might be, there might be a chapter closing out in that restless feeling. In the future, you have the Knight of Pentacles and the Four of Swords, okay? So the Knight of Pentacles is really an energy of, it's a really good card. In fact, it's one of the knights that everybody likes to see, because the Knight of Pentacles says that there's sort of a financial event or a material event that's sort of arriving that has the capability of kind of really helping you out. The thing is, this Knight of Pentacles is born out of hard work, okay? And so the Knight of Pentacles is not lottery wins, it's not money falling from the sky, it's nothing like that. It is, and it's really not even like gifts either. It's not like gifts, it's more like results, okay? It's results from hard work. It's being rewarded for all of your energy and your effort, or an event happening around an area like that. Like if you've put in so much work, finally something coming around. It's that type of energy here. And then you have this Four of Swords as well, which is really about rest, recovery, recuperation. Okay, the Four of Swords, it is interesting because, you know, we see, the thing about the Knight of Pentacles is that can also refer to just hard work generally, just plain hard work in one's life, dependability, all of that. And we have this paired with the energy of rest. And it's almost like for some of you, there's a forced period of downtime, or there's some sort of downtime here that's coming in the future. And what I would say is to just move with the rhythm at this time. I would just say move with the cycles of life at this time, because again, there are periods of time where we're asked to slow down. The universe, your guides, God, whatever you believe in, asks you to slow down. And I almost feel like that's coming in for some of you. And it is like something that's well earned. There's like this period of slowdown, or that is well earned for you here, Libra. Let's go ahead and move up the pyramid. So you have the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Five of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Swords, and you have the Five of Swords. So remember, I even called it out here. I said 5-5-5 energy. So you have 4 fives actually, with 5 Wands, 5 Pentacles, 5 Swords, and the Hierophant. So that's a big energy of change here showing up, Libra. And again, this is inevitable with the Ten of Swords anchoring this reading here at the base of the pyramid. Change is absolutely happening here, okay? There's absolutely chapters being closed out, and there is new energy. There's something that's leaving your life in order for there to be room for new energy here at this time, is what I feel like saying. You have this Ace of Pentacles in the past. It's like, for some of you, you have planted some seed a long time ago, and perhaps there's been a bit of a roadblock, or there's been a bit of a blockage here in seeing that seed grow, or in, you know, kind of allowing yourself to take the harvest, if you will. You can see that there are crops here on the Ace of Pentacles card. Crops in the tarot represent harvests, abundance, so forth and so on. The thing is, this is in the past here, and it's met with change. It's met with the energy of the 5, right? And you know, with the Ace of Pentacles next to the 5 Pentacles, 5 Pentacles can represent some type of like scarcity mindset, or kind of thinking in not exactly thinking in terms of abundance, but more so thinking in terms of scarcity. You have this 8 of Swords here as well, which is really, to me, saying that this 5 Pentacles is less about financial loss, and it's more about thoughts, okay? Because the 8 of Swords person is trapped in a thought imprisonment. Each one of these swords that they are surrounded by represents some sort of thought that they cannot get out of, or that they feel like they cannot get out of. They can actually easily get out, but for right now they are trapped in this limitation of their minds. And so when you get the Five of Swords and the Eight of Swords, for me, or sorry, the Five of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords, for me, that is almost always around issues of feeling less than, or feeling like you're not worthy of this job promotion, or not worthy of this seed, or whatever the case may be. And so I think this is mostly like a mental situation going on here, especially with all of the swords showing up. 1, 2, 3, 4 swords, right, showing up, this predominant suit that we have here. And swords represent, of course, mental situations, your thought process. The Five of Swords is some sort of loss, okay? And so let's just dive into this a little bit more here and see what we can do to clarify this. Yeah, so you have the High Priestess, Page of Shells, and the Eight of Feathers. So this is the Page of Cups, and the Eight of Feathers is the Eight of Swords again. Okay, so you have the Eight of Swords twice. This is big, Libra. Okay, this is big. There's some rumination here going on. There's a sort of mental imprisonment here. There's a mental sort of trapping that's happening for you. I do like that this says courage and solutions here, which is a really positive way of kind of looking at the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords asks you to have courage to work through whatever is, whatever limitation you're placing on yourself. And, through that, you can find a solution to your problem. The Page of Shells, or the Page of Cups, intuition and inspiration. Page of Cups can represent a, potential relationship in your life, forming and blossoming and developing. But I definitely do think that this is around intuition here. As you have the High Priestess as well, which is intuition and sacred knowledge. So you have these two messages here of intuition showing up very clearly. It's almost like that there's this period of rest coming, or that there's something that you need to give a rest here. And it's like trusting that. And, in going through this period of rest, it's like, or whatever the case may be, you may find the solution here to this Eight of Swords situation as well. Let's see what else we have going on. So you have another 8, you have the Eight of Cups, you have the King of Wands, and you have the Temperance card. Okay, so we now have Sagittarius energy as well coming in here with the King of Wands and the Temperance energy. King of Wands can really be any fire sign, but the Temperance card is the sign of Sagittarius. It's almost like, and it is interesting because Sagittarius rules truth, and really Sagittarius people are tasked with developing their intuition in this lifetime. I know this because I'm Sagittarius rising in a North Node in Sag. And so it's like there's a big message here of trusting. There's a big message here of discovering the truth here with this double Eight of Swords energy, because remember, Eight of Feathers is the Eight of Swords, but also developing an intuition, or trusting an intuition that you have about a situation. There's something about rest. I think some of you are maybe overworking, something like this. There's probably a reason for whatever's happening here. Okay, so I definitely feel like that could be the case here. Yeah, now, and I think some of you maybe have been sort of, kind of, this word trailblazing is coming into my mind, where it's almost like, for some of you, it's like you've been work, go, no stop. And sometimes when you get into these periods of, when you get into those periods of time, this is when the universe says, whoa, slow down, Libra. Like, we need you to take a rest here, okay? And I'm getting that very clearly here. The Temperance card is a card of healing, patience, balance, moderation. It's a very good card for healing. You can see they're dipping their toe here in the healing water. And so I think that this is heavily coming in with the Four of Swords and the Temperance, this energy of healing, okay? You have this Eight of Cups. You're walking away from something here, the seed that you've planted a while ago. There is just interference around whatever this Ace of Pentacles is for some of you, with the Ace of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, and the Five of Swords. And I get the sense that this is something that some of you are consciously walking away from. Let's move up the pyramid here. So you have the Devil, and you have the Nine of Swords. Okay, so this is heavily mental. This is a heavy mental energy showing up here. 2 Eight of Swords. Now we have this 9 of Swords. You can see this person has their hands, their head in their hands here. They are stressed, they are anxious, they're sort of going through a nightmare. At this time, they're having a nightmare. And they are, yeah, they're in the energy of fear as well. They actually fear that these 9 swords are going to come through and hit them, but they don't actually do that. And so it is, again, a really big energy of placing sort of mental limitations here. Okay, I know I sound like a broken record, but we're just getting confirmation after confirmation. And you have it with the devil. I think that there's racing thoughts. I think that there's something here, there's a shadow that's sort of being cast forward for you to work through and to kind of heal through. And that's, just know that that's okay, because that's like a normal part of life. I think also some of you are engaged in an overwork situation with the devil. Devil can come forward when you have an addiction to overwork, especially with some of these cards. Some of you are just going through an ending here. 8, 9, 10 of swords. Remember, 10, 8, 9. We have the 8 twice. Let's see what's at the top of the pyramid here. You have the 4 of Pentacles, which is about stability. There is stability and structure coming. Through all of this reading, which has been a bit of a challenging reading, through all of this, I will say that the future looks bright for your stability here with the Temperance card, the 4 of Swords, and the 4 of Pentacles, as well as this High Priestess and Page of Cups. I would just trust, if you feel like you need to take a break, take a rest, do something, I would really trust that at this time here. I think that this is a very important message for some of you. Let's see what else is kind of coming forward here on the bottom of the deck. So you have the 3 of Wands here on the bottom. 3 of Wands is growth, expansion, and opportunity on the future, or on the horizon, or in the future here. And it's also kind of like taking something to the next level. But I think for some of you here, it's maybe like an energy of like recovery, recuperating your energy, and then allowing this 3 of Wands energy to blossom. So that's what I have here for you. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you. I will see you in the next reading.